Hi everybody, my name's Lee and I'm here with Life Hacks for You. I'm going to explain some stuff about a couple of things we invented in the past. About 3 or 4 years ago, I'm working for Oregon Arboriculture, and we were kind of setting out to make a product that would kill bacteria, viruses, fungal spores, kind of everything, mold, mildew, whatever we could figure out. And I came up with a product and a formula that worked really well. So well, in fact, we created a product called ZAKAH CLEAN. And ZAKAH is a Hebrew word for clean, I think. I'm not really sure. But anyway, so clean. But anyway, this product that I produced, we never did patent it, so it's not owned by the company. I know how to make it, and I'm the only one. So it's proprietary to a degree, but we're not actively selling the product, and we're definitely not selling it right now, although it would probably be flying off the shelves given today's predicaments. But what I think would be really cool is to share how to create it and use it. Hopefully you guys at home can use it for something for yourselves. Now, it can be made with mostly household items, so I think that that's one thing that will make it kind of unique and in a way that could possibly really help people. So let's get into it. So I started with my testing using colloidal silver. So colloidal silver is basically putting electricity to silver. It breaks down into very small nano-sized particles. And these particles, look at this water. This was just regular clean water, and now it's like a milky look to it. And that's because of all the saturated small particles of silver are actually refracting light. So what I did is, and this is really simple, they have a machine that you can put on here and add 2 silver rods to it, and I can tell you the water quality and do a couple other things, but this machine costs hundreds of dollars, last I checked. I'm sure they make cheaper models now, but back then they didn't. So what I did is, which I think is the best way to go, most everybody has an old cell phone charger. If you take an old cell phone charger, just double check. Look right here, it'll say input AC 110 to 120, and the output is DC 12 volts. Now we're looking for 12 volts or less, and this is the perfect way to get it. So we're done with this anyway, but all I did is, so I broke a law, I guess, if I defaced a coin, but this coin was already damaged. But what we did is we took a coin and cut it, and then I straightened out the pieces I cut off of it with some tin snips, and then used those as a cathode and an anode. And so that way we know for sure that every bit of the product is actual silver. Just make sure that the wires don't dip into the water, because we don't want to have any copper in our solution. But you can see how thin this is now, how much silver is actually inside of this quart jar of water. So this is your colloidal silver. By itself, it'll kill lots of things, bacteria, viruses. It'll do a lot. But there's more to it. So this is the next step. Everclear. So most people won't have Everclear at home, but any kind of high-proof grain alcohol will work. Something that's mostly pure, as much as you can get. That's why I used Everclear. I don't drink alcohol at all. I just use this for making different things, making different tinctures. Inside of here, I put as much lavender as I could possibly fit, and it's made quite a nice little tincture. Picked up a little bit of the aroma of the lavender, and there may be some chemical components in here that affect how well this works. So the first thing is we start out with 100 milliliters of our lavender tincture. And you can see the milliliter marks here are nice on these smaller mason jars. We're just gonna go give our filter a few seconds to catch up. until we get to the 100 milliliter mark. A little bit laborious, but we're almost there. I mean, I don't think it's going to get much closer than that, so that's great. Now we're going to add our colloidal silver in just a second. That's right at 100. We're going to add our colloidal silver until we get to the 200 milliliter mark. Just a little bit more. We went a little over, but it doesn't matter. Now, something almost everybody has in their house, hydrogen peroxide. The hydrogen peroxide, in conjunction with the silver nanoparticles, is going to create oxygen inside of this solution. So you'll be able to see that pretty much right away. And it's going to have an oxidant quality. Try to choose a hydrogen peroxide with a without a stabilizer. It'll just have distilled water inside. Now you can't see it probably with the camera, but it is now doing very, very small bubbles. So those small bubbles are all oxygen. You can see it kind of foaming at the top just a little bit, but it's slowed down significantly, and I think it's because of the alcohol and the tincture with the lavender. I don't know exactly why, but this process will happen a lot faster if you just go straight from colloidal silver to hydrogen peroxide. But if you have the alcohol with the tincture in there, it slows down that process. So this by itself makes an excellent antimicrobial spray. Excuse my pour, that's getting kind of messy, but that's okay. So now I'm just putting it in an amber spray bottle. Now the amber is kind of important, an amber spray bottle, because it blocks out most of UV radiation, not all of it, but most of it. And that's something that's going to be pretty important, because ultraviolet radiation will destroy the silver particles inside there and cause it to deteriorate. So now that I have it here in a spray bottle, I can spray it onto my hands for a quick rub. And if I were to come in contact with some surfaces that I felt might be contaminated, I could just spray my hands down real quick. And it's such a safe product. I mean, I feel pretty comfortable about it. Doesn't taste amazing, but it's not that bad. But here's what I think it's going to be really useful. So here I've taken a mask, and this is just one of your common 3M style masks, a dust mask, and I'm going to soak it in our new solution. What's going to happen is the nanoparticles from our colloidal silver, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to allow it to dry. So just put the rest of this back in here. Another terrible pour right there, but that's okay. Now I'm just going to allow this to dry just like it is. And once it's totally dry, the theory, and then what I would like you to try out for yourselves, and anybody who's capable of testing things like this, give it a test for yourself. It's killed everything we've put it on. But as you breathe through these masks, the filter doesn't even have a small enough nanometer filter usually to catch this disease by itself. But the disease is usually caught in particles of phlegm or saliva or other different particles. So that's what these catch. But then when they catch it, it's just sitting in the filter. So instead of the potential for it to stay here and incubate, because I've heard it can last for a long time on surfaces, as soon as it touches this product, this silver, the colloidal silver, or any of the other portions, it's going to kill it. So if it destroys it, as soon as it touches there, it's going to mess with its DNA probably. I think it's messes with mitochondrial DNA. I don't know enough about it to say anything definitively, but the idea is it should destroy it, and that could be another source of protection. And I hope you'll try it, and I hope you'll share this with other people, because now that we've disclosed what we make ZAKAH Clean out of, I think this is, you know, something that anybody could make pretty easily and be able to utilize. And I hope it'll help everybody who sees this. Thanks a lot.